Hello, I'm State Representative Jeanine Nodder, and you're watching Chattin' with Jeanine. This week is my annual Alzheimer's update, and the guest is Melissa Grenier, who is the Regional Manager for the State of New Hampshire's Alzheimer's Association. So welcome, Melissa. Welcome back to the show.
Nice to see you.
I don't know how many times you've been on now. You're a
At
regular.
least half a dozen.
Yeah. So there's always something to talk about with Alzheimer's, and I know that they're having an advocacy day up at the State House, and I can't be there, so I'm like, well, this is something I can do. I can chat with you about the Alzheimer's Association.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Thank you. And I wanted to tell you a story. As a state representative, even just as a talk show host before I was a state representative, sometimes people in town, or in this case it was somebody not in Merrimack, but they call me and just to talk. They just want someone to listen to them. And I feel so bad for this gentleman who called me recently. His wife has Alzheimer's, and she's progressing. And now she's in a nursing home, and there's somebody at the nursing home that she likes. She doesn't always remember her husband, but the husband who's loved her all these decades goes in and sees her smiling with this other man, and he just doesn't get it. He thinks that you get rid of that man. He doesn't belong in there. Why is he touching my wife? Why is she smiling at him? Sometimes sitting on his lap, and it's heartbreaking. But yeah, I talked to the person who runs the nursing home, and he said, well, yeah, that does happen. It's part of the Alzheimer's behavior. They take comfort in each other. He said one time there was two women. They were straight women. They were married to men, but they didn't know that, and they would cuddle because that gave them comfort. Yeah. So this is a part of this disease that I never knew about. I didn't know about this, and I brought it up to my bestie, Representative Kim Rice, and she says, yep. So she knew of instances where this happens.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you could expand on that.
Well, I think the other people that gave you feedback are absolutely right, that it absolutely does happen. I think sometimes with Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia, there are those surprises. I think that it is really difficult for caregivers to see their loved one, A, not recognize them, and B, find companionship in other people. I've also seen caregivers who have sort of proverbially lost their loved one to dementia and have found their own companionship as well in their own lives. So I think there's a little bit of, we can think what we want about those different types of relationships. I think it's hard to live in their shoes, both of them. And so I think I try to reserve judgment because I don't know what it's like to walk in their shoes and to not have my loved one recognize me. But I do think that it absolutely does happen. And like you said, even, two women, holding hands or, finding companionship, makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Well, what about stuffed animals, dolls, puppies? Are those given to the patients?
Yeah, assisted living facilities and nursing homes will use those as tools to comfort people with memory impairment. Most women have been mothers, and so a lot of times people with Alzheimer's disease will revert back to their early, younger lives, and that could be being a parent, that could be starting a career or going to university. And so it makes sense that some people, men as well, of course, their parents as well, will find comfort in baby dolls, because they're reverting back to a time in their life when they were caregivers, or maybe they worked in a daycare center or were teachers or what have you. And pet therapy is one of the best things that facilities or even senior centers and can do to bring comfort to people with dementia. So again, it makes sense to me that they're using, stuffed animals of some kind. And now there's robotic animals.
Yes, my father-in-law had one. It was a cat. He was never a cat person, but he had a fluffy mechanical cat.
A mechanical cat, yep. So there's a couple different animals that they have out there now. But again, I think that lifelike kind of creature, if you will, can bring comfort and can remind them of the pets that maybe they had that maybe they couldn't take with them to assisted living or a nursing home as well.
So there's so many families affected by this disease. It's in my family. We used to put the TV on for my mom to watch babies because she always loved babies, and I get that from her too. I love every single baby I see. I want to keep every single one I see. So if this happens to me, I want to watch the baby channel. I want to see cute babies on TV. One of my sisters and I, we often talk about Alzheimer's and dementia, and we just look at everything we can read on this to try to prevent it.
Yeah.
So I've read a lot about mushrooms. So I'll take it. I'll do anything to keep from getting this.
Yeah.
And hopefully, I hope it doesn't happen. Well, everybody says that.
I know.
But
I know. None of us want it, or deserve it. No one has done anything to bring the disease onto themselves.
And I have a relative that I was very, very close to. Very close to. And at, I'm getting personal here, at Thanksgiving this year, we were FaceTiming, and I have family members, and she was there, and she goes, "Why is she crying?" It's like she said, "No, I am crying. I'm crying because I miss her. I miss her so much. I remember the last time she called my house, the last conversation we had." And I did visit her, and this past year, sometimes she's there. She's all there. She was getting her hair done, and I walked in, and we were just, doing our usual thing that we usually do, and it was just like nothing was wrong.
Yeah.
And it lasts for so long, but then I did notice some changes. So we were shopping, and she wanted to look at books, so we did. We looked at books because that was one of the things we used to always do. And we went to another part of the store, and then I said, "Oh, can we go over there? I was looking for a spice or something." She goes, "Wait, I wanted to look at the books. I didn't get to look at the books." I'm like, "Okay, we'll go look at the books." She didn't remember that we just did that.
Yeah.
And then when we were in line, she was looking at me. I looked up at her, and she says, "I miss you." I said, "I miss you too. I miss you so much." I said, "I remember the last time you called my house." She says, we could talk, but I don't know how to do that." She doesn't remember how to use a phone, so she no longer has a phone.
Yeah.
And they're in California.
Yeah.
So this is.
It's really hard
terrible.
to see those little pieces of someone, fall away.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
So I know on previous shows you've been on, we've talked about a lot of different things. We've done a whole series of shows, different therapies. You brought a woman in that I remember hearing. I don't remember her name, but she had this very soothing voice that I was captivated by her voice. I could, some voice that I can listen to you, but and I'm not trying to say that nobody else has a nice voice.
No, I know.
But she had this very soothing voice, and I just could listen to her and retain everything she says, whereas some people have annoying voices that I can't listen to.
Yeah, we all have those, don't we?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, even some podcasts that I listen to, I have to turn it down because their voices are so high, and it's not easy to listen to. But I want to hear the content, so I do.
Yeah.
First, I want to know, how is that lady, and what is new? What's going on in the Alzheimer's Association?
So the Alzheimer's Association is working hard to support people in New Hampshire that are either living with Alzheimer's or another type of dementia, and their family members and caregivers. So that hasn't changed in the past year or since the last time I saw you. What we are seeing, so speaking of prevention, we are seeing more preventative research studies going on, and the Alzheimer's Association funded a 2-year study called the Pointer Study, like pointer like your finger. The U.S. Pointer Study finished last year, and the initial results were launched in July of this past year at our international conference. And what that study did was it looked at movement and exercise and challenging your brain and keeping your numbers within normal limits, like our weight, our blood pressure, our cholesterol, blood sugar. And they found there were actually 2 different groups in that study. One that had a more structured plan that they followed for 2 years. So there were lots of meetings between the people participating in it, lots of medical oversight, lots of coaching about how to do those preventative activities. And then there was another group that had kind of a self-guided plan that they followed. And so they looked at both of them, and they found that the group that had more support had better results in terms of reducing risk of developing dementia. So we've always known that exercising and doing these things is good for our heart, but there's a lot of research studies going on right now that also can correlate these things to benefiting our brain health as well. So that's a really exciting study. And like I said, that just came out a few months ago, and the initial results are incredibly positive, and there's a lot of data that they collected over a 2-year span, and so they're continuing to look at that, and there's no doubt in my mind that they'll find other information that will be new and exciting that we'll be able to share in the future.
So another thing that we talked about on this show before is this book, and I think I had this on the set before. It's called The Inheritance, and it's written by Nikki Capsambellis. So there's a Capsambellis family in my neighborhood, and our kids grew up together, so I've known them since.
So it's the same family?
Yes.
Wow.
This is the sister. She wrote this book, and it's about Alzheimer's. And I have the page marks, so I looked, because I've had this book for several years now. And, this chapter is about a family in America and a family in the rural mountains of Colombia. They're a cluster of people who shared their faith. They both had this type of the inheritance. They had it in their genes,
yes.
This type of Alzheimer's. So I have an extensive library, and I have more books than I have years left to read them in my life. So I'm going to give you this book, because I think the Alzheimer's Association should have it in your library.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. And of course, every year we have the walk up at the Outlet Mall.
Yeah.
Do you have a date for that?
We do.
Year?
It's going to be on October 17th. Forgive me for not knowing if it's usually a Saturday. So our walks are now in October. We have, obviously, we're in Merrimack right now. The closest one is also in Merrimack, and we also have walks in Portsmouth, Keene, and Lebanon, New Hampshire. So we have 4 walks in New Hampshire altogether. But yeah, the outlets, the Merrimack outlets, have been so good to us over the past couple of years, and thank you for joining us. I've seen you there with family, and getting
my little granddaughters,
getting
they were with
a
me.
good walk in and all of that, and we just appreciate the community coming out and supporting us. But we also have another event that's probably new to you and your viewers. It's called Do What You Love, and it is a way to turn your favorite activity into a fundraiser. So let me explain what that means. So we wanted a way that people could take something that they enjoy doing and involve family and friends and create a way to raise money for the Alzheimer's Association. So this is in addition to our Walk to End Alzheimer's. So it's a more unique, homemade, custom-made, if you will, fundraiser. So we have some people that will have tournaments, bridge tournaments. There's a small fee involved, to play, and at the end of the day, any money raised goes towards their fundraiser. We have some people that bake pies all day, or for several hours, and then they sell the pies, and that's their fundraiser. We have the most exciting one that we have here in New Hampshire is called the 48 Peaks Challenge. So we have 48 4,000 footers, mountains in New Hampshire. And that is a real exciting challenge for avid hikers. And so what we do is we help that team organize people to hike on all the 4,000 peaks throughout whatever time frame they want to. It doesn't have to all be on the same day or the same weekend or anything like that. But again, people will sponsor the hikers, and I'm sure there are other ways that they fundraise as well. But that's really exciting, and that is the largest activity in the country. So they raised 48 Peaks Challenge raises the most money for this event.
Wow.
In the whole country. So it's really exciting. That's been going on for a long time. And, outdoorsmen and women just really love that activity and love to get together and enjoy our nature.
How does somebody sign up for this?
So they can go to our website, which is www.alz.org/MANH for Massachusetts, New Hampshire chapter. And they on our landing page, there's information on not only our walk, but Do What You Love and other upcoming events that we have as well, like our Ride to End Alzheimer's, which is happening the first Saturday in June.
Motorcycles?
No, bike riding.
Oh,
Bicycles.
Okay.
Yep. And that's at Hampton Beach State Park. And there's 3 different routes. People can cycle 30, miles, which I can't imagine people even doing 30 miles, but goodness,
no, I have
God
a
bless
friend
them.
who rides her bike everywhere.
And 30, 60, and 100 miles. So we usually have about 500 cyclists at that event, and that's a great awareness building event, just like our walk, but also a great fundraiser. And the Ride to End Alzheimer's that I'm talking about right now, the proceeds from that go directly towards research. It's dedicated to research. Mm-hmm. So whereas our other events go towards not only research, but the ability, it funds the ability for us to do, our care and support without having to charge families for anything that we do.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any road races for runners?
We have them in Massachusetts, but no, in New Hampshire, we don't have any road races.
We need one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great event. There's a lot of runners, so a lot of.
I'm a jogger. I used to run, but now
I consider that a runner. Don't worry. Yes.
I'm like, somebody needs to bring up the rear. That'll be my job. I can bring up the rear. And then, do we still have Hot Dog Day in Merrimack? And of course, shout out to Bob Bergen. Always have to have a shout out to Bob Bergen.
Yes, we do.
We do a show.
We do. It'll be at the end of June.
The longest day, but he doesn't run it anymore.
So
right?
There are a couple new people that are the point persons for the event this year. And forgive me for not knowing the exact date. It
it's
varies.
Usually around the 22nd.
Yeah, it's usually around the 22nd. And that will be, instead of the longest stay, that's what kind of morphed into Do What You Love. So the unique hot dog event that Bob has been spearheading for 10 or so years now, that will be under the Do What You Love umbrella. Or he could put those funds towards a walk team. It's really up to him.
Will it be in the parking lot at Our Lady of Mercy again?
It will. That's
okay.
where, yeah, awesome. Absolutely.
So
I believe it. I haven't heard otherwise. So
I mean, the whole town comes out for that.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's like an old home day.
Yeah. That's what it reminds me of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And I do like hot dogs, so I look forward to eating them.
It's a great deal. A few dollars for a couple hot dogs and chips and a drink. You really can't beat it these days.
No, Bob and his, are they married? His wife, the lady? His
partner.
Yes,
yeah.
They had the puzzle tent. That was my favorite tent. Like, I love puzzles. I don't have time to do them too often, but I love puzzles, and it's really good for the brain.
Yeah, absolutely. I always get a couple for my family members when I'm there.
Well, I've got them in the closet, and they're stacked up, the top shelf to the ceiling. And the ones that are the White Mountain puzzles that are like a bunch of little pictures. I just did one this week on Route 66. It was very easy. It was an easy puzzle, but there was a lot of pieces, 1,000 pieces. So
that's a lot.
It's a day. It took me a day and a half to do the puzzle because there were so many pieces, but it was easy. It wasn't challenging at all. I did one at Christmas time, was the shape of a cardinal, and that was a hard puzzle. That was a hard puzzle. And I almost gave up on it, and I'm like, I need some help. Can you help me with this puzzle? And then I started taking pieces apart and putting them back in, and somehow finished it, but I was missing 2 pieces because I have grandbabies.
They might have snagged them.
They probably ate them. And I got up early to finish the puzzle because I had a dream that the babies knocked the puzzle off and it was half hanging off the table. And that is exactly what happened.
That's how you found it?
No, yeah. Well, I finished the puzzle, thankfully. I got up early to finish the puzzle, and then the babies came over, and they knocked it over, and it was half hanging off the table, exactly what I saw in my dream. And the little one, he's a year old, he took his truck and ran through the pieces, and the other one was 3 years old, was putting puzzle pieces in his boots. So I know it's missing at least 2 pieces, and now probably more, because I don't, who knows, they may have eaten some. You gotta love them.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So now I have to be careful of, like, if I'm going to do a puzzle, I have to schedule it around when the babies are not going to be at the house.
Yeah, yeah.
Or shut the door to that room where I do puzzles.
Yeah, that's a good idea, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
after that long little tangent, do you know if they're still going to have the puzzle booth?
Again, I would think so, because that's Sylvie, Bob's partner.
Sorry,
That's
Sylvie.
Sylvie's
I
own,
know who you are.
Sort of like a fundraiser within the hot dog fundraiser. So, with there being so many people at the hot dog event, I would imagine that those would still be there. Mm-hmm. But I guess we'll find out as things
I know I've donated a lot of puzzles to that too.
Yeah.
So, and some people are really good about passing on puzzles. They'll take off the edges and put them in a plastic bag, a Ziploc, and I think, well, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, very considerate.
Someone must put them together, because they say all pieces included. Like there's like a sticky note, or there's like a label on it, and it'll say. And I was like, wow, someone must have put this together in order to know that all the pieces are there.
Well, when we still had the trailer at the transfer station, there was a bunch of puzzles I got rid of, and I wrote on the box, this one's missing 2 pieces, this one's missing 1 piece, so that people would know.
People know.
But now I don't have anywhere to give puzzles, because we don't have that anymore. So I have a neighbor who will take them for her mom.
Yeah.
So you want a puzzle? Missing a couple pieces is very hard to do.
No, not anything hard. I can't. I'm not good at puzzles.
It's like, I know, there was I think one of the hardest puzzles I ever did. It was a Christmas puzzle, and there were pieces that would fit in several different places, but they only went in one place, and it was so hard because you had to keep taking it apart and switching them around that I ended up having to look at the box, which I always feel is cheating, but I had to look and find the snowflakes on the box so I would know where that piece went, because it was a very difficult puzzle.
Yeah.
So, but I always try to not look at the box. But sometimes you have
that's
to.
making it even more challenging for you.
Well,
so that's good. I mean,
worry about my brain. I just
challenging
want it to keep
challenging
working.
our brains is a great way to, one of several ways to help reduce our risk of getting dementia.
So, staying active, omega-3s, because they can pass the blood-brain barrier, lion's mane, mushrooms, and exercise. Did I already say that?
Moving,
Moving,
nutrition, exercising our brains, socializing.
Puzzles. Puzzles.
Yep. So, when it comes to challenging our brain, it could be puzzles, it could be learning a new language, or picking up learning a new instrument, or picking up an old instrument and doing some new things with it. Music is so great.
Yeah, we're almost out of time. I've mentioned this on the shows before, but I remember a video that will stay with me all my life. Was this older man who was just so sad and forlorn. They put on his music, and it was like a light switch went on, and he just came alive and started singing this song. So music therapy, 100%, I'm behind it.
Yeah. Yep. Music is great, because even when one part of the brain is damaged, music can connect with other parts of your brain. Mm-hmm. And so we've seen that people, they can't talk, but they'll tap their foot when music of their era comes on, or they'll hum, or they'll, I've known people that were in a chorus and when they were younger, and again, they don't verbally talk anymore, but you put some of their choral music on and they'll sing right along as if nothing ever happened. So
that's amazing. Yeah, the music way it stays with us. A lot of songs can be learned from a lot of songs. A lot of songs can help you teach you, like the states. Like, you can name the state.
Yeah.
I learned all the 50 states in a song.
Yeah.
And North America, South America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. Those are the continents. And so there's a lot of ways to learn through music.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now we have 2 minutes left. So is there anything you'd like to say before we're out of time?
Just that, the Alzheimer's Association has an office in Bedford and we serve the entire state. So, I really like to emphasize that because I don't want people, I want people to know that we have roots in New Hampshire. We actually have an office in New Hampshire. But that no matter where people live in New Hampshire, they can reach us. They can certainly reach us 24 hours a day through our helpline. But I travel everywhere. A couple weeks ago, I was up in Littleton. I'm on the seacoast. I'm all over the place. So if someone is interested in having the Alzheimer's Association come and do an education program in their community at their local senior center or library or community center, we're happy to do that. The more people know about what we do at the Alzheimer's Association and about just Alzheimer's, dementia, and brain health in general, the better off we'll be. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I like to mention is that we work with people that have any type of dementia. So not just Alzheimer's disease. So if someone has had a stroke and has some lingering dementia from the stroke, or if they have another type of dementia, a Parkinsonian dementia, they can reach out to us too. So we don't only serve people with Alzheimer's, even though we're called the Alzheimer's Association. So I just like to throw that out there too.
Thank you. So dementia is any memory loss, and Alzheimer's is a specific form of memory loss.
Yes, exactly.
So, with that, well, I'm sure I'll have you back on the show. But
Thank
this
you.
is my last year taping Chattin. It's been 20 years.
Oh my goodness.
I'm wrapping it up.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for having me again, Jeanine. I really appreciate it.
It's always good to see you.
Nice to see you.
And thank you for watching.